Hi everyone. Hi everyone, wherever you are. I welcome you to Married Life. Married Life, Married Life, Married Life. Today, I won't take much of your time, but I would like you to watch this video to the end because there is something that will help you. I believe it will help you very well in your marriage. I'll be talking about what to do when your marriage is falling apart. What to do when your marriage is falling apart. Marriage is not expected to fall apart. No one wants his or her marriage to fall apart. No one expects his or her relationship to fall apart. But should in case it happen for some reason, this video intend to guide you through what to do when your marriage is falling apart. It is very important to sense when your marriage or your relationships is falling apart. It's very important to sense. But unfortunately, there are some people most people don't realize it. They don't sense when the marriage is falling apart. And that is the dangerous aspect of it. And as I said, this video intend to help you to discern when your marriage is at risk. And as a result, when your marriage is falling apart, there are few signs that should inform you that your relationship is falling apart. And before your marriage falls apart, you need to there are symptoms, there are signs that will alert you, that will inform you that something is happening. I've listed some few things. One, when the first love begins to fade out. Remember the first love. When you met first, after the marriage, when after um, exchanging vows, the fresh beginning of the marriage, I'm talking about the first love. When that kind of love is fading out, when the communication begins to change its value and taste in a marriage, when communication begins to change its face, when the communication begins to change its value and taste in the relationship, it is a sign that something is going on. Something is about to happen. You need to be alert. When respect in the relationship begins to run out, the first respect, when your spouse respects you, when you respect your spouse, when these things begin to change, when that kind of respect begins to run out, you don't see those respect anymore. You need to be alert that something is happening. When negative languages begins to come out of one another's mouth, when negative languages begin to come out of one another, For instance, when you hear one saying enough is enough, enough is enough, when languages begin to rise up at the top of their voice, at the top of their voice, when your tempo, when the voice begin to rise higher than before, when you begin to hearing the language like enough is enough, I can't take it anymore, you are even not my type, I think I've chosen, I've married the wrong person. When these languages are happening, you are hearing these kind of languages, I don't trust you anymore, I don't love you anymore. When you are hearing these languages, you need to know that something is happening. The marriage is falling apart. You need to be aware. When fighting becomes common without any satisfying resolution, you need to know that the marriage is falling apart. When everyone wants to do their own things, when everyone want to do it their own way, you need to know that the marriage is falling apart. And the last one, there are a lot of things, but there's a few things I've underlined. When sex life loses its attraction, when sex life loses its attraction, when you are not attracted anymore in your sex life, you need to know that the marriage is falling apart, because sex life is one of the very important aspect in the marriage. So when you don't feel like doing sex anymore, sex is no problem anymore. It's not you don't have the attraction. It doesn't attract you. You don't feel like having sex with your partner or your spouse. You need to know that something is happening. The marriage is falling apart. Those days when my father is he's a goldsmith, and also he was a goldsmith, and at the same time he was also a farmer. So I used to farm with my father, and sometimes when we go to the farm, we see a plantain, the tree of the plantain. You see when the wind blows very strong, and then the plantain tree begin to bend. When it bends, someone halfway, when it want to fall down, what my father does is that he find a kind of stick, a strong stick, to support it from falling. The point I'm trying to make is, when these things happen, you need to find a way to support your relationship. You can't use stick as the way my father used to support the plantain tree. But there are certain things you can do to restore your marriage, to bring your marriage back on standing, on its stand, on its standing. As I said, these things are warnings to make someone aware that the marriage is seriously falling apart. So you need to do something about it. Now, there are things to do. And without wasting much time, I've underlined certain things. And I want to quickly go through them so that as you listen to them, it might be profitable. If your marriage is falling apart, you need to be concerned. You need to be concerned. Don't just take it for granted. Because remember, you exchange vows. And those vows are powerful. Those vows, it's a covenant. It is uniting you. It has bringing you together. And it is just an enemy that is separating, trying to separate you. So you need to be mindful. So the first thing you need to do, when you find out you are experiencing this kind of signs, that's those 7 signs, and there are more of them. If you are experiencing certain things that is not normal, that you used to not to see them, experience them in the marriage, you need to find out. You need to know that something is wrong. The first thing to do when your marriage is falling apart is never wait until it falls down flat. You never wait until it falls down flat. Never wait. If it falls down flat, it's difficult to lift it up and bring it back on standing. Never wait. If there is something to do it. And I know there is nothing. Nothing that there is. Everything has got its way out. Everything. There is nothing that is to God. There is nothing that is impossible. There are possibilities. The same God who brought you together, the same God can help you. I don't know if you are a believer. That's my belief. But I'm talking to everyone, either you are a believer or not. Just be careful. Just stay in tune with me, and then let's go through those things. And I believe they will help you. Never wait until it falls flat. Number 1. Number 2, don't take any harsh decision. Don't take any hard decision. Right in the mess, right in the midst of the situation, don't take any hard decision. The reason is, if you do that, your decision might be wrong. Your decision might be negative. So in the time of the mess, or the midst of the right time of the crisis, when it look like it's boiling, when it look like fire is burning, don't take a hard decision. Number 3, take a moment of time alone. You need to take a moment of time alone. Instead of taking a hard decision, stay back and take a moment alone, if possible, in a hotel. If possible, take a hotel. In time of this, in time as this, you must be careful with friends. You must be careful with friends or family members. The reason is because some of them can even confuse you to make the situation even more worse. So you need to, I'm not saying you don't need someone, you don't need advice, but you need to be vigilant. Because some of even your friends, they can be enemies. They can be, because of the act of jealousy, they can be enemies. And they can, because that time you feel You are vulnerable. So anything can make, because as I say, let me say, the enemy that have come into the marriage, eh, just want the destruction of the marriage. So that enemy can connect to any member of your family, can connect to your friend, can connect to anyone who jealousies you. So you need to be very, very vigilant. That's why you need a time of yourself. If possible, stay away. Stay away. Just, if possible, take a hotel. If you are a Christian, use this time, even in a hotel, and wherever you are, wherever you have separated yourself, use that time to pray for your spouse. Pray for your spouse. Pray for your spouse. Pray for your spouse, and against the enemy behind the scene. Now, use this time to carefully examine either you are a Christian or not. I'm not talking to only the Christian. Use this time, to carefully examine the situation, to find out what exactly must be done to the problem or against the problem. Use this time carefully. Examine the situation and find out what was wrong. It is very good. It's the powerful way to solve the problem, to bring the marriage back on its stand, is to carefully understand and know the cause. If you know the root and what happened, then you can work on it. Now, number 4, avoid putting blame on your spouse. Avoid after you find out that even your spouse is the problem. Don't put blame, because the more you put blame, the more the fuel, the more the situation will refuel. The more it will refuel the situation to flame higher. So avoid putting blame on someone. Don't blame anyone. Instead, your main focus should be how best you can do to resolve the problem. How best you can do to bring the marriage back on track. That should be the main focus. That should be the objective. Now, show your consent. Show your consent to bring the relationship back to life. Show your very consent. Then number 5, understand your spouse's weakness. Realizing that you have your own personal weakness as well. You need to understand that any human being has weakness. So you need to realize that weakness. All this I'm talking about reflect the vows. When you exchange the vows, remember you say you will be with her or him the rest of your life. Other in what? In sickness, other in whatever situation, any circumstances, you will be with them. So remember that all these things the vow you have exchanged include weaknesses. So weaknesses causing the situation. So understand the weakness of your spouse, and realize also that you have also weakness. So when the situation comes, one might start it, but your weakness also might crash to cause the situation to worsen. So understand all these areas, and then things will work out. Number 6, involve your spouse to get the situation fixed. The best way to get it fixed is by working it out together, not alone, together. The reason is because it does not matter. Yeah? It does not matter who created the mess. It does not matter who started the mess or created the mess. Both of you has caused the falling. Both of you has caused the falling. As I said earlier, sometimes one has started by your weakness also, which should have been something that could quench the fire. Did not come on. Instead, your weakness also allowed the fire, supported the fire to flame, to allow the situation to get to that level. So whatever it is both of you that allowed the marriage to fall to that state. So in other words, in this case, therefore, both of you also have to come together to lift it up. So it can't be lifted up by you alone, because you have come together as two to become one. So you need one another to lift it up back to its stand. Involve your partner. Number 7, do everything to forgive one another. Do everything to forgive one another. A genuine forgiveness is when you are capable to remove the pain and the hurts out of your heart. That is the genuine forgiveness. You don't just forgive. I forgive you, I've forgiven you, and then holding something back. No, you forgive. Sincere forgiving comes out from the heart. So you need to forgive and then remove the pains and the hurts. The hurts. It might be a hurt that causing all these things. So remove those hurts. When those hurts are removed out, then it paves way for the issue to be resolved. It paves way for peace to reign. Now the last one, the number 8 is work on your self-healing. Work on self-healing. Work on self-healing. What I mean is that consider the things you have left to be done to yourself. There are certain things you have left that you should have done during that time. You should have done, which you did not do it. You should have done to as I said, to bring down or to quench the fire, the flame. You did not do it. For instance, you must learn to fight. You must learn to first of all love yourself. You must first of all love yourself, and then when you love yourself, then your spouse will also learn to love you. One must learn from one. When you love yourself, you can handle every pain. When you love yourself, you overcome every hurt. When you love yourself, so if you love yourself, then you can love your spouse. And if you love your spouse, then your spouse also will love you. The spouse will learn from you also to love you. People intend to treat us the very way we treat ourselves. So begin to treat ourselves, love yourself, value yourself. And then the partner also will be watching you. The way you love yourself, the way you treat yourself, I'm not talking about being proud. I'm not talking about being arrogant. But love yourself. Reflect on the first love. Then number 9, Reflect on the first love. I count the first love. Remember the vows. Remember the time of the vows. Remember those days when the wedding time. Remember after the wedding time. Remember the first love, where you try to feed your spouse. You put a spoon from your mouth and to his or her mouth. Remember all these things, and then if things are going on in the beginning, if things were going on from the beginning, the things were going on those times when things were going on very nice. Reflect on those things and apply them at this time also to work for you. When those days, when things were going on, apply those time. Remember what you did. Both of you were doing, and because of that, things were working. Apply those things at this time also. Remember those things and apply them exactly at the way, even more. And then it will work. It will continue to work. Even as it worked from the beginning, as it worked from the beginning, it will also work. If you are a believer, let me end like this. If you are a believer, allow God to take control over the marriage. Allow God to take control over a marriage. If you are a believer, that is what I suggest you to do. Allow God to take control. Because if he takes control, no enemy can share its place with God in the marriage. And no enemy can take control over the marriage when God is on, when we have put God, or when we allow God to take control. No one to take control, no enemy, no foe can take control and can mess up your marriage. May the God bless you. And I suggest you share this video so that everyone will benefit. A lot of people are struggling in the marriage. A lot of things are happening. So if you share this video, these are the things you need to share. These are the materials, the rich materials you need to share to edify people, to help people, rather than sharing certain things that will rather frighten people and rather destroy people's life. Share it in your pages. God bless you. I'll see you another time. Remain blessed. Bye-bye.